Vipaka Chitta. Now we are going to discuss Vipaka Chitta, that is the resultant consciousness. The consciousness goes on arising and ceasing and leaves impressions in our mind, and in this impression is called as Vipak or resultant. There are two types of actions. One purifies our mind, and secondly, one pollutes our mind. Vipak is the resultant of the consciousness, moral or immoral. If the consciousness is moral, the fruit is also moral. And if the consciousness is immoral, the fruit is also immoral. Vipak becomes one with the consciousness. Result is not a physical thing, but a mental phenomena, and remains one with the consciousness. Now we are going to discuss Kriya Chitta in operative consciousness. The consciousness of an Arhat is called as Kriya Chitta because Arhat consciousness bears no fruit, as he is not attachment, has no liking at all. Kriya Chitta is fruitless. Consciousness or inoperative consciousness, Vipaka Chitta and Kriya Chitta are technically called as Abhyakat Chitta. Now we are going to discuss Akusala Chitta. Akusala Mula Sampayuttam Chittam iti Akusala Chittam. If a consciousness is associated with three hetu, that is the lobha, dosa and moha, it is called as Akusala Chitta. There are three divisions in Akusala Chitta, that is the Kamavachar Chitta. According to Abhidhamma traditions, Kamavachar Akusala Chitta refers to a type of consciousness which is associated with Akusala Mula, namely Lobha, Dosa and Moha. Lobha is greed, which generates desire to have the belongings of others. Dosa is ill will, and it manifests in the way of giving rise to antipathy, hatred, or a desire to harm others. Moha is ignorance, which covers the nature of the reality. It is in this way the three immoral roots function in generating threefold immoral tendencies. Consciousness then finds association with any one of the three types of immoral roots and become immoral or akusala chitta. In this context, it may be noted that all the immoral roots do not function together. They are not of any evil nature. The possible association of the immoral roots may be seen in this way, that lobha and moha functions together. There is also functioning of dosa and moha. Moha functions alone. It is in this way the three types of possible combinations are marked with respect of immoral consciousness, that is the akusala chitta. Here, when lobha and moha functions together, moha acts as a marking the natural attitude blind. Lobha becomes prominent, and therefore there appears a consciousness of taking the belongings of someone else in the form of ahoso par sampatti mama bhavaya. This type of determinating attitude of our mind is called as lobha mulaka chitta. It manifests in 8 ways. Again, with dosa and moha, the immoral roots functions together. There also moha marks the rational attitude, and those becomes prominent. As such, there arises a determinative attitude of our mind to harm others. The name of consciousness is patig chitta. Patig means a desire to harm others. It may also be called dosa mulaka chitta. It manifests in 2 ways. Further, sometimes moha functions alone, and it creates an atmosphere, mental, dominated by the darkness of ignorance. All the rational processes of our mind are totally disturbed. When a determination at the level of mind is taken under the situation, we name it as a mohamulaka chitta. It manifests in two ways. Thus, the 8 types of consciousness are rooted in lobha, 2 types of consciousness are rooted in dosa, and 2 types of consciousness are rooted in moha, make a total sum of 12 types of consciousness, technically called as kama, vachar, akusala, chitta. Now we are going to discuss Rupavachar Chitta. Before we come to Rupavachar Chitta, let us discuss what is Nivarana and what is the Jhananga. The factors which are responsible for making the consciousness to move here and there, and from that to getting concentration of the object which has got form and color. The causes are not physical but mental. There are 5 factors responsible for making the consciousness bewildered. These are called as nivaranas or hindrances. Nivaranti paryondhinti na chittam samadhitam ti nivaranam. That which put obstacles, pushes back, and it does not help getting consciousness, and because of that they are called as nivarana, which are 5, namely kama chanda, a strong desire to have the pleasure of senses with respective object. Kam means sensual pleasure, chanda means a strong desire, indriya janita sukha iksha. Second is the vyapad, that is the ill will, vyapadoti dosoti par vinas chinta. Third is the thin midh, that is the sloth and torpor. That means generating idleness, laziness connected with consciousness. Chittasya akalyatati thinam, kayasya akalyatati middham. Thin means laziness connected with chit, midh means laziness connected with psychic factors. Fourth is the udhach kukuch, means worry and flurry, that is the distraction and bewilderment. Iti tato dhavanam iti udhacha, katanu katanam sochanam ti udhacham. Its function is to take one from the object. Kukuch, to which one brood over what has to be done and what has not been done. The fifth is vichikiccha, doubts in the Buddha, doubts in the Dhamma, and doubts in the Sangha are called as vichikiccha. Here, Buddha in general form means teachers, Dhamma as a good advisor, and Sangha as a good friends. Due to these 5 hindrances, the consciousness moves here and there. So long these hindrances are at work, the mind cannot concentrate. So the antidotes of the Nivarnas are Jhanangas, or the constituents of the Jhana, which are 5 in number, namely Vitakka, that is the application of minds towards the object, that is the Arambane Chittasya Abhiniropan Lakhanoti Vitakko. Vichara, that is the sustained application of minds towards the object. Anumanjan Lakhanoti Vicharo. Because of presence of Udhacha, we have to take help of Vichara, that is sustaining of mind on the object. The function of the mind on the object is of Vichara. The mind has turned towards the object and it has relaxed. Vicharoti alambana, chittasya anumanjana, and getting relaxed. The difference between the Vitak and Vichara has been explained with a nice simile. When one strikes the bronze plate, the vibrations starts. Here a striking of the ball is called as Vitak, and that of vibration of resounding is called as Vichara. Bees going to the flower and it is called as Vitak, and humming sound is called as vichara. When birds like to fly in the sky, itself it is called as, whereas it is the fly or that is called as bitaka, and flapping of the wings is called as vichara. Thus, bitak is called as a initial moving towards the object, and bitakas are potentiality on the surface of the mind in the form of psychic factors, the function of which is to take one towards the object. It is a chetasik or psychic factor. Vitakoti alambana chittassa abhiniropana lakhanam. Abhimukh karam va. Abhiniropan means taking consciousness towards the object. It is chetasik or psychic factors. Vitakoti alambana chittasya abhiniropanam ti. Abhimukh karanam va. Abhiniropan means taking consciousness towards the object. The third is priti, means joy or thrill of pleasant sensation. Innocent joy appearing within the hope of the realization of the object. Pranam ti piti. There are 5 kinds of piti, namely khuddika piti, sarire lomahansanam attameva katva sakkoti. It only generates the joy to erect our hair. A flash of joy existing for a small period is called as khanika piti. Khane khane bijju pad sadisa. It just generates joy just like a flash of light. The generated joy is not continuous but momentary, time to time, just like lightning. Okintika piti, samudra tiram, bichi biye kayam, okamitva bhijyati. As on the seashore, waves comes for a moment and overpowers one and returns, and in this way it does not last. Ubegga piti, balvati hoti kayam, udaggam karoti. It is powerfully generated which makes one lifted. Next is the farna piti. It is powerfully generated which makes one lifted. Farna piti, sakalassa riram purita bathiviya. It exists saturated with body. It is just like complete saturating with mind and body and exists with that. Next is the sukha, composure. That is, a man is happy within and without. It is saturation of joy within and without. When bath attendant pours the bath powder into water, it turns into a lump of foam and there does not remain any part of the bath powder. It gets saturated with water. In the same way, sukh is the saturation of joy within body and mind. The difference between piti and sukha has been explained with an example. A man coming hundreds of miles through the desert and he is desperately thirsty and has still to go ahead. In the meantime, he sees a man moving completely drenched and wet, water dropping from his hairs and taking a jug full of water with lotus, and his joy knows no bound in the hope of realization of this his object, that is to quench to thirst. It is called as piti. He goes to the tank and drinks water and takes bath, and in this way gets himself saturated with the thirst. It is called as sukha. The last is the ekaggata, which means one-pointedness. Samadhi apanna va. It is to become one with that, remains with that.